Right, this time I think I've decided to just skip the creation stuff because, well, there's only one scenario and I'm always going to end up with the same individual, at least for the beginning stuff. So, text. And wait until the Euro missile crisis starts before actually picking anything in that category. For fairly obvious reasons. Oh, and also budget reduction. There we go. One less spent on interest every month. Moratorium. Since that raises the faction influence of the moderates and reformers. Right. It's got 20 points. Which one is the economic? Yep, there it is. I can do more in the new month. Ooh, that's interesting. I guess the latest update has also added the ability to see what changes bring, what the changes in politician comes in. Cumulative effects of polyedic traits. Oh well, the traits that that person currently has. Might actually be smart to move away from Gorbachev. After all, Dogik is sympathetic to the reformers and gets me much more reformer faction influence, which could be helpful. Plus, the negatives don't seem quite as bad. I mean, Gorbachev is the only one with the intriguer trade, so it's not that bad, at least as far as I'm aware. Still. Yeah. Gorbachev's traits just aren't that good. I mean, slowly reducing minister's power is nice, but on the other hand, well, there is the fact that I'm going to be losing military-industrial complex power and heavy industry power. And that reduction to ecology is never fun. But the boost to services and light industry? Oh yes. Especially since services and light industry tend to be the ones that bring in the most money. So I think I'll actually bring in Dokik. Welcome! It's good to be able to see that stuff. Makes it much easier for me to make decisions. Sure. Bring him in, I guess. I don't like Yeltsin, but trade agreement. Just start up trade agreements everywhere that I can. Should be good enough for now. I keep forgetting that I can't just burn all the points immediately. I'll get the big players out of the way. And then wait until close to the end of the month so I don't burn all of my political points. Because I want to get some of the more radical reformers in. Sure. Except the acceleration program. There's another... Continue with conciliatory rhetoric. I've got points, I can burn them on with something. Although I still need to do the trade agreements. Again. Right. This is the best thing. It does increase forgery and reduce consensus unity, but it does improve tax revenue overall, and especially revenue from agriculture. So, besides, that's one way to deal with the drunkenness problem, I guess. There we go. Right, let's ensure that Anglo actually gets an advisor. Have fun in Africa. Rumors of collaboration with racists. I'm not gonna mention the... Yeah, of course, campaign against racism. Fine with this remaining like this because I need to build up the resource. Right. Let's see. Military leadership loyalty minus 1.65. Oh, I'm not picking you. Oh wow, almost -1 relations with NATO countries, USA, European subscriptions. I'm just going to say this. Generally speaking, it does seem to be the fact that ministers tend to be worse than having nothing, but you need to have ministers. But I might as well nominate my own candidacy. I mean, sure, there are no informal socialists right now, but it's one less, yeah. That's fine. I'm at it. It's not a big deal. How's tech looking? The proton collider is close to being done. Let's add some more text to the queue. Sure, let's go with the informal decision. Text done. Okay. I can start doing experimental science. Great deal of efficiency when it comes to that. The Star Wars project. I'm just gonna pick this one. I mean, I can't use military points effectively. It's not very much that actually takes military points. There. Yeah, it tends to be tier 3 techs and above. Usually it tends to be the more aggressive ones. Oh, and of course Miltech. Hold a conference with the Brazilian leader. Makes them much easier to work with than the Brazilians. I don't need an increased power, but let's do that in order to ensure that these special services get enough. Actually, has the numbers changed? Or the exact things changed? Seems fine to me for now. Sure, let her leave for their treatment. Doesn't tell me which outcome it is. It's probably number 1 though. How's the accessibility of education? It should be even higher than usual. Okay. It's not great. Oh, I can always send military aid if the state seems particularly stable. They've gotten pretty stable among my group. Surprisingly quickly, too. Use services only once. Useful. Makes a lot of people slightly happier. The emphasis of local conflicts is done. I don't like this. The depends on contributions to military science because that was finicky. It's usually just much easier to spend it on something else. It also costs basic income. But once the army size gets below a certain size, these sorts of things become much more helpful. How's... I need this open so I can actually see the loyalties. There we go. I need to do this decision. It's far too important to get rid of this because these negatives get worse very quickly. Sure, it means I don't need to worry about the generals anymore, but it's expensive, but it's extremely important that I do it. Let's also start focusing on quality. I've got the points for this sort of thing. Perhaps I should not have done that at the start of the month. Oops. I can reduce supplies for soldiers and increase spending on, not actually military equipment, envelopes for generals. It gives me more political power. Because the army is going to remain fairly loyal. Okay. Nah, we're not keeping Tikhonov. Oh, jeez. Okay, the special services and leadership loyalty reduction is annoying. But I think he can handle it. I might be able to find a better candidate later. Yep. Usually the outcome's positive, which is very good. USA doesn't like that I'm getting close to France, but France is great. Fine. Geneva. Let's try to end SDI. It's usually a better option. Ooh, that military leadership loyalty. I can't afford any changes though. Not really. I can wait on setting something up for the CPS here. Keep the plenum peaceful. EC expansion? Okay. I believe, yes. Oil crisis. Accelerate the preparation of an economic reform. Yeah, let's work with Iraq. Let's make sure that the secularists, internationalists do their thing. This is pricey, but I can handle it. Not much I can do about that, unfortunately. Yeah, and the Civil War has shifted away. Send the draft decree for revision. Second outcome, joy. Just start working on crushing corruption. Express protest. Yeah, military leadership is not happy. Shoot. Do everything I can to limit the damages. Okay. Sure, allow it. Start research projects, more of them. I mean, why not? It's just 5 units of cash. Alright, accept this. Further reduce funding of supply of soldiers. It's fine. Okay. Just because they're veering away from me for a little while doesn't mean that after all. Right, let's move to Tito's. Going to need to start adjusting the refinancing, right? And hope things don't go too far. Could I put it on 11% for now? It's usually a decent spot. Ah, here comes postponements. Oh yeah, I should adjust things, shouldn't I? I'm not sure if it's cash for all this, but it definitely has the political power at least. I'm going to borrow some money off of France for this. There. This is extremely important that I adjust my doctrines to match the requirements. I'll move the markets into economic syndicalism at some point, but that can't happen until, well, for at least a couple months. But I need to build up my reserves at the very least before I even think about anything like that. You want to get rid of Yeltsin. No. I've got plenty of relations with the US, so this isn't a big deal. I can start paying off some of that debt to France. I mean, their interest rate is good, but unlike with this one, which improves NATO relations with NATO countries, it just makes it easier for France to influence our third world countries. So who was I destabilizing again? Oh yeah. Hmm. Well, nothing to it. Oh boy. Okay. Hopefully that doesn't make the army itself too disloyal, because that's pretty important. Try and make sure corruption doesn't increase either. Putting more money into the state mechanism is generally helpful. There. It's gonna take a while for the military to become more loyal again. No, it failed. Lovely. Increase support. If I can get the, yeah, let's get the alliance members to assist. If I can get this one to win, that would be helpful. Although I can probably, yeah, okay, I've left that on for too long. Time to turn it off. keep the planet peaceful. There we go. Move towards secularism. Oh, I haven't actually done the food program yet, have I? Yeah, I definitely need to do that because that's causing problems. Decisions. Just want to check. Empty shelves, doing decently. Economy. Adopt a new food program. There it is. Adopt the mixed model program. It's going to cost a lot of political power and money, but it's going to dramatically improve my agricultural status. So I don't need to invest nearly as much money into agriculture. No. Okay. Provide a loan to refinance. Trying to hint at it doesn't seem to work very well. So it helps with consistency. I should actually check to see if there's anything interesting. Sure, let's get rid of that guy. No. Yep. Yes. Of course. I'm not gonna touch the guy, he's a reformer. Can't do that. Can't specifically conspire against my intel chief. Great. Just length of conscription. Yeah, sure, eliminate the special archive. Things look... Ooh, okay. Use more resources. Retire the guy. A little brew? Enjoy. Oh, that's gonna lower my corruption level. Makes it a lot easier to deal with things. And military leadership loyalty is pretty important. But sure. I can reduce the funding slightly in the state mechanism, increase some military equipment to make up for it. There. My income increased too. Yeah, I definitely need to look into moving doctrines towards anti-corruption measures. Well, I need 250 in the reserve to try that, so. Hmm. I could purge the generals. Sure. I need a new Secretary of Defense now. Minister of Defense. How would you look as a Minister of Defense? Needs to be at least 40. And Trigger is helpful here, actually. No. Alright, no openness advocate. I remember that. I remember that thoroughly. No, you're Atlanticist. Okay, and ambitious. Somewhat problematic. Well, that's fine if the others are... Okay, that's reasonable. Okay. Wait, you already have that position. Okay. Another position. Okay, you're moderate. You're okay. I'm not appointing a nationalist as Minister of Defense. That usually causes potential issues. Especially considering you're a poor recruiter. Oh yeah, peaceful is no. It's almost as bad as openness advocate. I'm not giving you that position. You would ruin it. Boris Yeltsin. What's the worst that could happen? Reduction to military leadership loyalty is not worth it. You already have a position. No? Maybe? This is always a tough one, because I want to pick someone that's at least reasonable. Oh, Farmhand's a good one for Ministry of Defense then. Conservative, no. There's no one particularly amazing, is there? You might be decent. Yeah, okay. Enjoy the position. Education accessibility is rising, so. Yeah, it's off. Nah. Sure. We don't need to say social patriots. Let's open up. Censorship. Media control, there it is. Let's see here. Unit camera? It's fine. I got plenty of civil liberties anyway. I just have a tendency to move in that direction. And unicameral things are faster, more efficient. And so long as they're directly elected. More representative, too. I think I'll actually go for the doctrine on. Plus it will improve the amount of money I have available. That's what I move towards. Okay. Oh, it's writing. Okay. Lovely. This lowers income, but it improves corruption. Let's move it here instead. Well, eventually, I need more cash. Yeah, the military-industrial complex is fading. Let's drop military equipment. Push that up a bit. Let's take mechanism a bit. Can't interfere, sadly. With this, he will remain a reformer. So. Livestock shores has reduced in level. Good. That's the power of agriculture. I can reduce the imports of agricultural goods to boost it. Okay, that's more money freed up. I'll swap it to increasing the import of industrial equipment to keep the military-industrial complex afloat. Oh, Black Monday occurred. Okay, I did not need to do that many imports. It makes it easier to interact with France. Much easier. More money to keeping civil servants loyal. There we go. Yeah, this is going reasonably well now. I'll change up the economy type, see how that changes things, and I need to get to protectionism in key sectors, and only in key sectors below first though. See how that happens. Turns out, There we go. Free national elections, like Soviet model, Soviet democracy. That should severely lower the issues that I have with corruption. As the Soviet Republic is much, much better. Just gotta be careful with loyalty of the others. Wait for the results. Yep. Yep, okay. That's looking fairly good. I do need to spend more money on the special services, since their loyalty has heavily reduced. And I need to keep them happy. But corruption reduction, yeah. careful about unemployment though, because that could turn very bad very quickly. I've completely forgotten. Okay. Reorient currencies to, well, enterprises to receive foreign currencies. And I haven't modernized the nuclear plant. Should have done that ages ago. I can also cancel this. Or just get a slight reduction. It's fine. Still lowering, so. Now, where was the thing I was really thinking of? There, renovate the housing stock. God. Who? Oh, yeah. I'll save this decision for next time. Right. Things are going fairly well. I've got some of my goals through, specifically moving to Soviet democracy. It's a much more specific, well, it's very good for lowering corruption. It means the army is consistently extremely loyal. So I can drop supplies to, well, what is pretty much the minimum I can manage. Below 100, yeah, consistency starts to fall apart, which is not a good thing. And I've also managed to move to economics and inclusion in the process too, which is very good. Do you plan on improving labor freedoms again in order to bolster corruption reduction? That's the biggest thing I'm looking towards. Sure, this will lower general income across the board, but the corruption reduction is worth it. I feel at least. Especially considering most of those industries I'm getting boosters towards income from anyway. Well, but I will need to save up more money. I need to improve the vector. The relations. The fact that the worsening is not good. Okay. Oh. Yeah, okay, I've done too much. Right, I'll see you again next time. Until then, bye.